What am I to do?
Welcome to RazorBranding Podcast with Jackie Russo. To learn more about how to improve your brand, visit brandrusso.com.
We said it was going to be a marathon, and I hope you believed us. I also hope you've been with us all day, because if you have, you've gotten to hear from some amazing entrepreneurs, learned from some great stories, and really just celebrate National Entrepreneur Day through this podcast marathon. We've got 2 left. This next one, which is live and in person, is near and dear to my heart because we've been friends with the Trahans for years. Our kids have gone to school together. We tailgate together, but they've embarked on a new adventure together, and I can't wait to talk to them about it. Please welcome to the show, Hunter and Renae Trahan.
Guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So obviously, anybody who grew up in Acadiana knows you all. You and your family have been so instrumental in this community for generations. And so now recently, y'all have embarked on some new adventure together. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe take turns, talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey to get to where you are, and then now what y'all are doing together that I think is so cool.
Want me to go first?
Sure.
It's been a long, but it's been a fun journey. I started out in the car business, as you know, many years ago. I worked in the car business for 25 years with my father and my 2 brothers. And to be honest with you, come 2008, when my dad was ill and it was not going to live past the cancer that he was struggling with, I held on until he passed away, and the car business was changing. As we all know, just when we thought it was bad in 2008, when the banks were failing, the dealerships were going out of business, you just thought that was the tip of the iceberg for the car business. Full circle back to 2021, where we see it now, what's happening with no cars on the lot, just a massive inventory problem, massive computer chip issue. That was just the tip of the iceberg back then. And I just decided that Renae and I wanted to move on and get out of the car business since it was changing. We didn't want to get left holding the bags with nothing to do. And we just made a jump. Actually, at the time, I made a jump to get in this kind of business. This is apparel and specialties business, and went to work for a friend of mine here in town, and worked for her for 4 years, and basically ended up where we are now at All Star Signs and Specialties in Lafayette. Where we were given this opportunity. Actually, I was called on a Friday at about 4:30 by the guy that owned this. And I called my wife and I said, "Oh my God, here's the chance that we've been waiting for." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "We just got offered to buy All Star Signs." She's like, "What?" She's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I said, "No, I'm not kidding." She said, "Who called? What did he say? What did he say?" I said, "He said he was ready to retire." She said, "You're joking." And I said, "Yeah, I mean," I said, "Does that mean that you want me to do it?" She said, "Absolutely, but you're not doing it by yourself." And I'll let Renae step in at that point.
Oh yeah, I knew if my house was going to be on the line, it wasn't going to be without me. I can tell you that. So, but never in my life did I ever think I would be in this position, for sure. I've been doing contract bookkeeping for 25 years, was happy, was able to be with my children when they needed me and volunteer like I had done since they were in kindergarten. So I never, ever had imagined that. But I knew when we were presented with this, I knew that this was what Hunter needed, because he was, working for other people. I felt like he was undervalued, underappreciated. And I knew that he was going to be the billboard for this new business. And he is the best salesperson in Lafayette, Louisiana, by far.
I wouldn't just limit him to Lafayette. I would say he's one of the best salespeople in America.
Does that mean I have a big mouth, or are y'all just saying I'm just...
I just think you're
just
passionate.
A billboard for whatever you believe
Right.
in and whatever you are attached to at the moment. And I knew that was going to take us to where we needed to go. And I mean, here we are 5 years later. They say when you get to 5 years, you passing one milestone. So we made it, thank goodness. Now we're looking for the next 10, to the next 10. Can't wait for that, but very proud to work with him and know that he's, doing
Right.
the best he can for us. So
Most of the people we've talked about today, their entrepreneurial journey has been starting businesses. You guys are special because you bought one, but you've done a lot with it. It's not like you just took the business you were given and you've stayed on this path. You all have injected your own spirit and vision and growth plans to get to that 5 years. So talk about how you've done that, because I mean, to the best of my knowledge, y'all weren't big sign installers before 5 years ago.
No,
So how did that grow to be where you are now?
actually, when we got this offer to buy this company, it was a sign company, as you know, and they did apparel, but they did as much apparel as I did signs in my original journey that I started in. So I said, wow, what an amazing combination. I can take what I know, pair it with what they know, and build this empire. And we took it from Chris and Max Abear and basically purchased it from them, and we built on what they started. They ran a great business. They had a great reputation. They're good people. People loved Chris. He was out there. He was the me of this company, and Max was the Renae of the company. And so it's weird how much alike the relationships are in the tasks and the things that we each did for this company. And I basically looked at it and said, I know you don't know much about the sign business or the apparel business, but I do. And if we take apparel and put it with what they have, the signs, we're gonna make this thing make a run. Yeah. And 5 years later, we are now doing electrical signs. We're doing signs of all kinds. We do shopping centers. We have made a decision to jump in the big sign with the big guys, and we're gonna make this thing work, and we're gonna grow it even more.
Yeah, it's learn every day. Every day I learn something new. Now Max and Chris taught us a little bit about some of the smaller things that they were doing, but every day I get here and there's a new challenge. And it's like I said, I never even imagined this is where I would be in my life, but at 50.
Right. With kids in high school. I mean, that's a scary time because they may not have needs like when they're little, big people, big problems, but they have needs. And so now all of a sudden y'all are off over here doing this thing. Luckily you've got good kids, and I think they were able to thrive right through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're thriving.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is a challenge to be committed and put in 150% into something, and also keep family life balanced, as well as friend life and all that other stuff. It is a challenge.
Right.
Being an entrepreneur, that's what you sign up for.
That's the word of the day for sure.
Yes.
So one of the other, I think, interesting aspects of your entrepreneurial journey is that you've done this together. And so being a part of a married team, starting and running a business together, how much do you think that helps or changes the dynamic of what you do for your business as entrepreneurs?
We're kind of working on that. We're trying to fine tune what we have. We've been married 26 years. We got 2 wonderful kids. We're basically trying to convince ourselves how we're going to go home without talking about work.
Good luck. Let me know how you do that.
They say it's a fatality if you go home and you still talk about work. And so we're trying to get that part carved out of our lives and just go home and relax. And it's hard. And we'll be sitting here watching TV, and she'll be like, hey, grab the remote. And she grabs the remote. I toss it to her. She turns it on mute and says, what do you think about that job that we did today? I said, whoa. Hold on. That's a rule breaker. So we're really trying very hard to separate that from our at-home life.
Impossible.
And we find that we're so passionate about what we do. I absolutely love my job. I love meeting new people. Renae loves working together. And it's just really fun for us because we've kind of brought this thing to where it is today with the help of our previous owners, with the help of the people that trained me in the business. Dear friends of mine, and they got me really sharpened to be where I am today. And I'm proud that Renae came along with me. It's been fun. Awesome. we have the time, and I guess the time that we normally would have spent with the kids that are in college now, we're basically spending building this business.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the people that adopt a puppy or start fostering kids as their kids get older. Now you have a new baby.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're talking about it, because you have a 5-year-old. And so,
it's got 8 hearts running around in here.
And to me, it's a great example for my children. Like, to know that, hey, mom and dad did this at 45, so there's nothing that I can't do. And, to build a legacy that maybe one day our son decides to run. To me, that's very important, and was kind of one of my fuels behind the fire to be here and do this. It is possible, and we're doing it, and they can see that we work hard, and
I'm not sure we could have had as many obstacles as we have had since we bought it in July of 16. We have had the Garrett School rebuilding, 3 years worth, or 3, it felt like 30.
Yeah.
We've had the flood of 18. We've had
16.
the pandemic. I mean, we've just been inundated with bad times
Yeah, I
in
feel
this
like
world.
every year I go, okay, what, is this year going to be the year we don't have any hurdles? Um, and I know that 21 is worse than 20. I felt like 21 with supplier issues and just horrible, price hikes. Those kinds of things are worse than the actual COVID was last year. With us,
Agreed.
we closed down for a month, but Hunter and I kept it going by ourselves. I thought that was bad until we get into this year. So I'm just 2022. We're looking towards that.
For sure.
It's going to be the year. We have a few viewers who have posted little comments that I want to share. Deborah Darbone shares her love for both of you. 2 hearts.
Another Raging Cajun fan.
As she should be. Stacy Scher says, best team. And my favorite podcast viewer of all time, Jonathan Sachs, who always has great questions. Do you think your children understand what you chose to take on 5 years ago and the risks you were willing to take? Have you seen it impact their views towards the business world?
I don't know that my daughter's completely on another angle. She's in nursing, so I don't know that she kind of looks at business the way I kind of look at it. My son is in construction management at LSU. I'm not sure that he's mature enough yet to understand. I think at one point he will. But I think for right now, when he does come in, I know he knows how large this is for us. But does he grasp that one day he could be able to do this? Or, I'm not sure if he's there yet. But
I think they appreciate it a lot more.
Okay.
And now, before they used to say when they're in high school, they get home and they say, God, what are we having for dinner? I mean, like, y'all are always working. Now they go, well, thank God they were always working, because now we get to do the things that we want to do and the things that, the college kids do. And we get to go here and go there, and mom and dad are working, and it's all good. So It's not so bad anymore.
Yeah.
But that's a big change and growth for them as well. I think the kids of entrepreneurs are surrounded by insights into the business world that other kids might not get. And so that's a great gift you give to them. And, maybe Courtney, pursuing her nursing career, becomes a travel nurse or starts a nursing staffing agency. There's other ways her nursing drive could also impact business.
Right. And I see their ambition, and I see their drive, and I see that it comes from what they see in us. And also Hunter, we both come from very hardworking families. So, and both of our parents have been together since they were 14 years old. So they see long marriages,
Commitments.
Yeah, long commitments. And I don't know, so I think they are getting what, they're seeing what we're putting into it.
It's been a family affair for us. I often tell people, they say, well, what does your mom do? I said, everything. And they said, well, what do you mean everything? I said, well, she washes clothes, she cooks, she cleans, she goes help at AJ Water Care. She comes to All-Star Sign. She goes to LeMay Group. She does gumbos. And these are all companies that my family, brothers and sisters own.
She
and
comes
it's just
full
crazy.
T-shirts.
She comes full T-shirts with us on any.
Runs the greatest tailgate in America.
She can cook.
Yeah.
She's a diamond. She's just somebody you want to have on your team. That's for sure.
For sure.
We have
Renee's
always
parents
had
were
family help.
Big supporters of us from the beginning, and it's nice to have in-laws that are willing to back you and trust in what you are set out to do.
And anytime we call anybody in the family, they're here, and if we need anything. So
I think that's a testament to your family and the community. I think there are a lot of communities that don't drive this multi-generational connection the way Acadiana does. And it just comes from the genes, right? It's in the heritage. Talking about bringing work home, because this is something that we struggle with as well. Is it something like what we talk about? You're driving down Johnson Street and you're noticing other people's signs, and maybe you're thinking, why do they do it that way?
Yeah.
Is that really what drives a lot of your conversations?
All the time. I'm like,
Yes.
God, did you see that sign? It was awful.
Yeah.
But then we took a trip to Nashville a couple of months ago and brought our kids with us. And we're walking down Nashville on Broadway, of course, going hopping along and listening to good music and stuff. And I couldn't help but notice, I was like, oh my God, these signs are fabulous. Like I'm taking pictures of everyone that I see and go, man, we could do signs like this. And Renee's like, this is a little large for us. We're just getting started. Let's start with the small ones first.
Please hold up a second.
Well, yeah, except now y'all are doing stuff at the airport and you're doing all these big projects. So you're growing into the large, I think, and that's where it starts with entrepreneurial vision, right? You see it in another area or another company that's bigger than you or more established, and you think, I'm going to grow to that.
Yeah. I don't like to say no to anything. Sometimes Hunter will look at me and goes, oh, why are you doing that? Why are we bidding on that? If it comes to me, I feel like maybe it's sent by God. I don't know. If I don't get the bid, it's fine. I'm going to spend the time to do it.
It's not fine. She actually gets very mad. And when I keep telling her you can't win them all, trust me, I was in the car business for 25 years. And believe me, I lost deals, not because of anything that I did, but just because they chose to buy something else. And I said, you can't expect to win everything. You could want to win everything, but you can't expect to win everything. And that's the fine line between the two. And so I said, bid on them if you may, but understand that we may or may not get them. And if we do, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll
and that happens every day. So
I know Hunter and I will do whatever it takes to get the job done. And I think that's what separates us from a lot of other companies. We're here every day and we're in the trenches, and Hunter's holding up signs and delivering boxes, and whatever it takes to get the customer, to keep the customer, to make him a lifelonger, and to make the sale is what we're here for. And I think that does separate us because, maybe we're young, maybe it's new to us, maybe it's just instilled in us. I don't know, but that's just kind of how we go.
I was raised with. That's just plain and simple. Is customer service is what sells, and customer service is what keeps people riding along with the same vendor, and that's what I want.
Yeah. And that's your work ethic. I think that's why you've been able to build such a large, loyal client base, is because people know your work ethic and they know the quality of your work, and so they're in for the long run.
Yeah.
But that's the challenge of those RFPs, is because when you spend all your time on them, you don't get to build that relationship.
Yes, indeed. That is so true. So true. So true.
Nancy Gregory wants you to know that she is so proud of y'all. How cute is she?
She's the best.
So back to Johnson Street, because this has been a thing that I have obsessed about, sadly, for years now, is the need to bury the lines. And if and when we were ever able to get to that point, it would make sense that we would also require all of the signage to be, like what you saw in Nashville, like what we see in Daphne, Alabama, and all those places.
Yeah.
Yes. And so how do we help clean up some of that visual graffiti around town and get everybody on board with, we need the low, nice, attractive signs. We don't need to have the 30-foot tall skyscrapers.
We deal with the city permitting department on a daily basis. And while some of the decisions and things that they mandate to us are not in favor of us, we understand and we get it. And it does help to make the city a lot prettier. If you go look at a street like that and you go right out to Youngsville and you look at what they've done in Youngsville, I use Youngsville as a target every day, just because that's what Lafayette needs and wants to be. Can they get there? Yes, they can get there. But as you know, Lafayette government just moves kind of slow, and things don't, they talk about it for a long time. And by the time they finish talking about it, it's almost passé. But they are getting very much better. I mean, they're starting to change. Good. We'll look at one job on a street today and we'll look at it again next week, and the same rule doesn't apply anymore. So they're changing things as on the fly, really. And so it's a good thing. I mean, we'll do a sign on one side of the street and they're allowed to go this high, this wide, this long, lit, non-lit, whatever. And then the next day it's across the street looking at the same business that we just left. And the rules are different on that side of the street. And so
it's
different
it's
in a good way.
It's all zoning, and this is a big city, and it has a lot of businesses that are not, that you can't really make them change their sign unless a new business comes in.
Right.
So you got people who have been in their places for years and decades. And, to do something like that down Johnson Street would take decades to switch everybody to a new format. And, you'd have to give them a timeline for them to have to do that, but it would look nice. But I'm sure it would be an undertaking.
And it would be great for business too.
It would be. To bury those lines and then get y'all to change all the signs, I think it'd be a win-win.
I'd like to write the code on that.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
When I'm in
indeed.
charge, I'll call you.
Okay. You
So
can start the, yeah, you can start it.
I'm on it. I'm on
Okay.
it. So what's next for you all? I think the first 5 years are kind of just figuring out where the bathrooms are and where to park. And, you kind of get the lay of the land. The next 5 years are where you start to realize, oh, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going to now bring my own plan to this, my own vision, and start to head in this direction. So how do you see your growth happening for the next half decade?
I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
We know what we're doing. We're figuring it out. We're buying new equipment every chance that we get. We brought in a large format. It's called a hybrid flatbed printer a year and a half ago, and we printed over 20,000 yard signs in about 6 months off of this printer. We dubbed her the name Proud Mary because we're proud of her, and she has helped us to launch this business to a new level. And we use it every day. She runs like nobody I've ever seen, and this computer is amazing quality. And so we're always looking to spend money to better our business. We're trying to get it together to add on to our building right now to make it more efficient, to where right now our building is not set up so well to where we don't have anything under cover outside. And in the summer it's really hot, and vinyl does not like the heat at all. And so we need to get a building put up in the back, which we're working diligently on that to get that in place. And we think that will help us to sustain in the rainy days and the cold days and the hot days, and really just kind of take us where we need to go. And we're gonna keep shooting for the stars over here. All Star Signs is not going anywhere. We're gonna keep building this business. We're gonna hopefully bring my son in to help us out over here when he gets out of college. And we've got other people in the family that have just been instrumental in everything that we've done. And we just hope that we can carry this momentum and stay healthy, and just keep growing it together, and just make our people that work for us. We have a great team, and we have had pretty much the same people from day one, with the exception of one position that we changed a couple times because they moved out of state. It was not because we got rid of them, but that's how you build a business. And I'm a firm believer. When I was in the car business, we had people that when we sold the dealership had been with us almost 50 years. And I'm a huge believer of that, and keeping things consistent, and to where if you came into our store on any given day, you can walk in and talk to Missy every day, or you can talk to Nancy or whoever is here, and you establish a business with them and don't even realize that it's that natural for you. And so that's really been the best part of our business, is the people that we employ.
I could not have said it better. What a great way to wrap this up. So anybody who needs signs, promo items, yard signs, channel letter signs, lit signs, unlit signs, call All Star Signs.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you guys. I appreciate your time.
If you want your name on it, we can make it happen.
There you go. I love it. Go you well.
Go Cajuns.
And thank you everyone for watching and listening. We've got one more to go, and then we'll wrap up this day of celebrating entrepreneurs. Thanks, y'all.
Enjoy you.
Appreciate it.
When the day is through.